the foundation of all achievement is desire.
There you go. But
do you really want to do it?
Desire come from? Desire come from exposure. If all I know is what's in this box, how am I desire something?
Right.
And that's my point.
Right.
When we had the young person in New York City and they saw the red staircase down there in Manhattan, that made that person dream.
Well, let's explain that to. Let's say it's slow.
What?
You have taken teenagers and children, whatever, to New York City.
Sure. Since 2003.
This is Times Square. A lot of folks, they see it on television, but tell them you got to see it with your own eyeballs. But tell them you got to see it with your own eyeballs.
Big time. So here's the deal. Since 2003, our focus has been exposure. National exposure, taking children from one city to another city so that they on the road seeing cows, tigers, and bears and all that stuff along the road. No tigers. But the key is letting them see other stuff, and then when they hit that town, now they can compare and contrast. Chicago is like this, New York is like this. Now New York is similar to Chicago. They call us second city. I haven't been to New York until I was 21 years old. So there are people who are older than that who never been, and you should go. Why should you go? Because it's going to allow you to compare and contrast what life is about. If you've only been in one place, you're limited in your perspective. So these young 14, 15-year-olds at an early age, 7 years before I was able, are getting exposed to New York, to Detroit, to Milwaukee, to
you're taking young people to these cities. That's what we're trying to say. You're taking
every month.
You're trying to take these young people to these cities. I didn't go to New York. I was like 30 years old.
Yeah, I was
something
21,
stupid. That was really old.
We going to D.C. in August.
You're going again,
The
huh?
third Saturday, we're going to D.C. in August before President Obama leaves. So some of these young people go get a chance to see the White House. Now they could probably stand at the gate there,
explain this. Look at the camera, Saran. There's people who watching this or live among us. They 40, 50, 60 years old, never been to Washington D.C., the nation's capital.
Sure, but that don't put them down.
No, I'm not putting them down. Right. I'm saying they should try to make sure their children, their grandchildren go. If you don't want to go, your children and your grandchildren should go.
No doubt.
And people say, "Oh, what's that?" I say, "No, Atlanta and D.C. is the same distance, 700 miles.
Right.
It takes 11 hours, 12 because of time difference."
Let me make it why this is important. A young 16-year-old. Who mom is on drugs, daddy is gone.
Right.
He got a pistol. He hungry. His grandmama is always on him, like Mark say, always nagging him.
Yeah.
He thinking about doing the lick next Friday. He thinking about just robbing somebody.
Right.
Now that robbery that he intends just to put the gun on the senior citizen might turn into a murder because the senior might fight back. He end up shooting and killing that person. But what he envisioned as being struggling when he got that pistol is really about materialism. These shoes, the unnecessary things.
Right.
He's hungry because he don't want to eat what grandma cooked. Food is there, but he don't want to eat that. But all he know is what's around him.
Right.
He go to New York City. He ain't got to worry about eating because he go eat with the rest of us. He ain't got to worry about shelter because he's staying in a hotel. He with other young people. And now he get to see New York City. And it makes him say in the back of his mind, man, I wouldn't mind moving here. Oh, it's girls here. Oh, man, it's a little different here. So now when he come back home and he going through his moment again, he can think back and say, you know what? I ain't gonna do this because I ain't gonna be able to grow up and go to New York like I want to. Because he got exposed, it's another thought in his head that will prevent him from going out there and robbing that senior citizen. That's how deep and intricate this is, the exposure. When they are thinking, they gotta have something to reference back on. So you gotta expose them. They can't be, this is all they know. They gotta get out and go places and do things.
Explain that you have taken young people outside Chicago, and it's the first time they stayed. The first time into a hotel. Tell me how that is to a kid, man.
Yeah, that was in Atlanta last month, March 15th.
But you've done it a bunch of times.
Yeah, but this one here really touched my heart because the young guy told me we was on the road down there. He said, "I never stayed in a hotel before." I said, "A motel, hotel?" He said, "No hotel." I said, "Okay, well, this is how it's gonna be, and this is how it's gonna work." And it's funny because most people know in hotels you can get ice in the corridor there. So I told him to go get ice, and he was like, "Do I gotta pay for it?" I said, "No, it's free. Just take the bucket, go in there, and press it in." But that was the little bitty thing, the little insight. But it's powerful. This is a 14-year-old kid, and now he was in a nice hotel. We stayed at one of our better hotels in Atlanta. So that's what it's about, exposing, you know.
Listen, I'm a grown man, and when you step up, I don't care if it's a Motel 6 or the MC Suites or whatever, I get a kick out because I don't travel like once a year or something. So, but what I'm saying is that people say, "Well, I ain't got no money." Explain to folks to say, "Well, I know folks that ain't been to Milwaukee. Milwaukee ain't there 90 miles."
Right.
Let me real brief. In a few minutes, in a few hours, you can go to what? St. Louis, Detroit, Cincinnati. Indianapolis, Louisville, Kentucky, all these towns are like 4 or 5 hours away. You know what I'm saying?
Now look, real quick, Milwaukee, and you say this, and I applaud you on this, Mark. it's lifestyle, right? So you could be poor in Chicago, and if you move to Milwaukee, you could be poor in Milwaukee. So you're gonna see the same thing. But what we try and do is we make sure we expose them to the other lifestyle, so they stay in a better hotel with a swimming pool, so they can see what the possibility is. They was at the Sheraton in Milwaukee, in Atlanta, and they sitting there with all these people with money at the bar, drinking and having a good time, seeing the conference going on. And they like, we here too. That's right, y'all here on the Stop the Violence mission. They here on relaxation. Now we stand at the Sheraton in New Jersey, Lincoln Tunnel, New Jersey, right across from the Hudson River. New York is over there. We can afford that Sheraton compared to Manhattan Sheraton. But that's gonna enlighten them young people because they got like 16-story building. The hotel, the swimming pool's on the 4th floor there. It's beautiful, business people all around. And here go our Chicago Gary teenagers.
But every church, I know we promote your organization and everything, but every church, I know churches go on church trips. I get that. But we really got to pull the money together and get these kids out of Chicago just for the exposure. I don't care if it's the Bears camp in August and July, but down at Bourbonnais. I get in the car and go to Milwaukee, and they say, that's stupid, man. I say, no, that ain't stupid because, the point is that if you go to Milwaukee, even Milwaukee, you see they have a beautiful art museum, which is something to see. It's really nice, right off the lake. Yep. You go over there, not too far, it's Miller Park. Miller Park is a domed stadium. They got a stadium that the roof closes up. Retractable dome stadium. The Bradley Center's downtown where they play back. Oh, this is where the Bucks play? This is where the Bucks play. Yep. This is a major city only less than 100 miles from your house.
Yeah. It's all mindset. So yeah, that's what it's about. So that's excellent.